A common thing I hear about INFJs too in the dating realm is they'll go on a date with you and then imagine how that your life would be like together because it's an eye simulating the future, and it's like, all right, how would marrying this person be like?
Yeah.
So there can be a little bit too long of a projection into things and seeing how things would work out, or simulating it in your mind and forecasting the vision of where you both would be.
It's really interesting how ENFPs do that in an outward manner, because they're all in like, I love you, walls are down from the beginning. But an INFJ is kind of like doing that process internally by projecting so far into the future what life is going to be like with that person. Whereas externally, they're like, no, we're just like, we're not there yet. We're like still on level 1. But in your mind, you're on like level 100.
It's seeing if you're soulmate material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that INFJs could miss out on people that might be soulmate material by making those judgments too early, or are they just very efficient?
INFJs can be very sensitive to red flags and notice them very quickly. It's like, ooh, that behavior 10 years from now, I don't know if that would be okay. So I think in some ways they're good at noticing it. In other ways, they can be very kind and accommodating and forget how they actually feel or think about things because they want to make you feel good. And so that there can be a loss of their own sense of where they want things to go by trying to absorb how you might want the situation to be with some of them. It's the
Yeah.
lack of boundaries just creates a really interesting situation. Sometimes you're gonna have a hard time knowing who you are and what you stand for when you don't have a good relationship with boundaries.
Well, that's developing your FI, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. What you stand for. That's such a difficult question for me. I am, except for like honesty, freedom. Those are ESTPs, what they stand for. But yeah, otherwise I could see how that's just so easily absorbed. It kind of reminds me of Seinfeld. How, I don't know if you've ever watched the show. Probably. No? Yeah? Okay. So he's like very good at like weeding people out very early for like seemingly insignificant reasons. Like, oh, she was a close talker, so we can't go on any dates anymore. So it's kind of like someone who knows their FI extremely well, but is also projecting that into the future. So maybe an INTJ. Okay, anyway. maybe INTJs and ENTJs, well, they definitely are the most efficient daters, aren't they?
They are. I've heard so many ENTJs talk about how they interview their relational candidates, and I'm like, who interviews their love romantic candidates? And I'm
Yeah.
like, ENTJ after ENTJ after ENTJ. It's such a trend. It's like, this is not a business interaction, ENTJs, but I love them for it.
Yeah, well, they know exactly what they want and where they're going. So that is, it's efficient. Yeah, it's funny though. But it's interesting to me the way the INFJs are doing it, but also losing themselves and pleasing the other person. Like, I'm sorry, that must be like a really maddening process to go through for yourself.
It really is, which is why I'm single. Everyone, I'm single. Just to let everyone who is single out there.
I would say I was like chronically single as well. And I was on so many dating apps, and I had to create my own in order to find a relationship. So it could happen. You just have to make your own platform. No, don't do that.
So
You could,
everyone visit TypeMatch and find the love
yes.
of your life there.
Your personality is unique. It's hard to find someone that understands you. Try dating using personality type matching. Find out who you're compatible with using Myers-Briggs and Big 5 personality scores. Download TypeMatch and start dating by personality type compatibility today. TypeMatch, available on App Store and Play Store.